record this. Here's a little thing I've done this week, and I'm interested the mostly with this class as usual. Um, you guys are always very honest with me. None of you are really afraid to talk on this call. Some of the other classes, as you guys know, like when you're new, you don't want to talk at first, and you got to get comfortable with Zoom. It's shocking to me that people that talk for a living get on calls sometimes and don't want to talk. Right? All of a sudden they're shy. But since this is the last class, right? And a lot of the people, I shouldn't say a lot, but some of the people in the other classes um haven't aren't coming back. So the question I posed to them was, I'll start with Scott because he's upper left corner on my screen anyway. I said, Scott, if this was your last class, what would you say? Okay, here's what I've learned, and here's what I've gotten from this class, and here's what I'm taking with me. If it was your last one,
So I would say mostly it's just to be constantly aware of what's going on and constantly thinking about the calls. Before a call, I'm thinking about how I would handle a call. During a call, I'm making sure I'm touching on all the things that I've kind of decided are important to touch on in a call. And then after the call, I kind of review the call in my head and kind of think about how I did. I don't think I was doing that really as much before I was on these calls. It just helps when you have every week you have an appointment to talk about how your calls have been going. It makes you think about your calls differently.
So accountability.
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of accountability. I hear that more from the tenured people, right? I get once in a while, we'll hear a Spencer call and somebody be like, ooh, I like that line. Or we play somebody else's call. I like the way that Drew said that. Or you guys bring some of that up. But the accountability one, I like just having to sit in front of people once a week and talk about it, and it keeps me in the game, so to speak. Mo, your turn.
Two things. I would say number one, when I first started with you, I didn't sell warranties. Very rarely ever sold one. Now, as far as this ASOP, every month since I've been in it, we have a newsletter, and I'm in the first or second place percentage-wise for warranty sales for the Mid-Atlantic region. So
let's go, Mo. That's fucking awesome.
I don't do your numbers for that, but it's cool. Incredible. It's good, and it's something to take from what Rob does. He coaches us. He's not telling us what to do, but the other thing is when you get off a call and you did good, you want to, first thing you do, click that thing, maybe send it to Rob. But you really realize that if you totally messed it up, first thing out of your mind, you start saying a couple of swear words. Man, I can't believe I didn't do this. Because you know what Rob would say if he was dissecting it. And then you got everybody listening and you just run it through your head. So it puts you in the right frame of mind for the next call.
Kind of, Scott said it, right? I didn't really think about him before. How do I become conscious? That's kind of the one word I would say. Joel, what about you? And again, hold on, I want to say something. You weren't at ASOP a week, and Justin called me and said, wow, I could tell Mo was trained by you. He's good. So the minute they hear it, like I said, I got a message from Blake at ASOP yesterday, and he goes, hey, do you train the Tulpas people? And I'm like, yeah. Why? He goes, I called there, and the way the person treated me and talked to me, I knew right away they had been trained by you. That kind of made me feel cool. Like, wow, he recognized it. Like he knew the way the person asked the questions, he knew, right, that he had gone through it. So to me, that was pretty cool, right? And the reason I stopped Joel, and you are next, is when Bishop's hired Joel, right, I never thought you were going to do the numbers you're doing, Joel. So kudos to you. Not that I didn't believe in you, right? I just thought you were going to be in that $1.50, $1.70 range kind of guy there. And you've overachieved. Good job.
Yeah, it's definitely a different mindset for me now. The salty, been doing this since the mid 90s. Part selling is just, it's gone. You got to get out of that phase of, like you call me, the racist, the parts racist. I mean, go to the clean part, the lowest miles, the highest price, what's best for me to sell, and not necessarily is that what's best for that customer. So stopping and asking the questions and hearing, the calls and everybody else's, experiences makes you stop and think. It's that accountability. It's that, holy Christ, well, if I changed this how long ago, where would I be now?
Well, and I mean, once you're conscious of it, Scott, you start realizing it works. They're like, holy shit, I did this and this and it actually worked on the call, or I did this and this and I got him to give me the answer. It's like sometimes it's like, you do it and you're like, oh my gosh, my efforts are working. The choice of words are correct. Do you think that, Scott, sometimes? Like, hey, I've changed it and it's working better?
Sometimes I think I changed it and it's working better. Sometimes I change it, I think worse though, Rob. You all
Yes.
changes to what I do.
I had an opportunity with a company that came to me. It's within this industry, but not a salvage yard. And so I met, the owner called me, then the GM called me, and then I met with like the operations manager person, and then I met with all the team leads of all the departments. And this was going to be a pretty big gig for me, right? Probably $40,000, $50,000 a year. And when I met with the people, I blew it, Scott. I got a call after, said, I think we're going to go a different direction. Right? And I pushed. Not that I wanted to push to save it. I pushed, Spencer. I want to know why. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the job. I want to know what I said. And guess what, Scott? They won't tell me. Right? They don't want to have the uncomfortable conversation with me and say, we don't like you, Rob, because. And that's all I want to know. I have to be a big boy. I have to buckle up and say, it's okay. I'm going to take the criticism, but I need to know what I did, Brandon, so I don't do it again.
What kind of, you don't have to give all the information, obviously you're not going to, but what kind of industry was it?
It was one of the reman transmission companies, right? So I was going to train some of the salespeople. I was going to train the warranty people. I was going to train the customer service people. Like, they have a lot of different departments.
Yeah.
Now I'm still going to do some other work in some other areas with them, but I blew it. So, right.
I guess
the teacher blows it too, right?
I guess
I
guess I don't understand why a company from that aspect wouldn't say, hey, it was X, Y, and Z. I don't even know if that's an uncomfortable conversation. I mean, maybe
people are worried about liability, and they're worried about pissing me off because I have a touch of an influence. So if they piss me off, I'll go around and say to all of you, don't use this company, which I would never do.
Sure.
Right? They're worried about that. So they want to soft pedal it with me. But the point is, I didn't do the right thing. Buck up, own up. It's okay. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to screw some things up, and I'm going to get some.
It literally could just be a personality thing. Like, just 100%. Like we started with the whole Jer thing. Like, it could have, you and Jer could have said the exact same thing, but the way it stuck, I wouldn't say you let an F-bomb out, but say you did. For me, I would have been like, yep, we're ride or dies. We're going to the end. But somebody else is like, no, pump the brakes. He just swore.
Well, that's
totally
100. The tune was you were a little too northeast.
That's it. Yeah. So,
but that's totally.
You're not gonna make everyone happy.
Right. That's totally like the same thing as our business daily, right? So if you take, I don't know, I sold parts in the South. If I moved to North Carolina and tried to sell auto parts, I'd have a horrible fucking time doing it because you talk way too fast for people in the South, or they don't understand what you're saying. You're abrasive or whatever. But then if you take somebody like, I don't know, Mo, and move him to fucking New York City, They'd be like, who the hell is this country bumpkin? You know, it's the same kind of thing.
Who let Deputy Dog in here?
Right. So,
right. And but so again, different strokes for different folks. Now, in the the part is you have to be able to sell parts to me, and you guys have to be able to sell parts to Jer.
Yeah.
You all have to do both. Well, guess what? You all includes me. I need to be able to work with country people, city people, right? The Midwestern, corn husking fucking people, right? So you've got to have both in this.
You're saying a chameleon, right?
Yes.
You're telling me my tone's the same for my boy down at Maurice's as opposed to Alfredo's.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the local gringo to all my Hispanic shops, and they fucking love it.
But
that's what you have to do, honestly. If you want to be successful, I think you feel like you have to.
Well, and if you don't, what you end up with is a whole bunch of customers that are just like you.
Right. No, it's true. It's true.
When you look at who your best customers are, a lot of times they're the same personality type as you because you treat them the way you want to be treated.
Right.
So it fits. But when you're trying to treat them, like if I was like Jer shakes his head at me all the time. We talk and I tell him, he's like, how do you get away with it? Kunkel used to say it all the time. He goes, I don't understand how you say the things you say to people and they laugh at you and they smile and they love you. I say the same thing and everyone hates me. It's in the delivery, man.
Totally.
It's in the delivery. It's how you're delivering it. The one thing I've tried to do the best I can is plant my feet firmly on the ground. And the reason I talk the way I talk is this is who I am. And I'm one of you. And my boots are on the ground too. And I'm not talking down to anybody. If I was talking down, I'd have never told you the story of how I just blew this big deal. But that's real. That's life. This is how it works. Life isn't fair. I can't make everybody happy. That's why 50% of the people, which all of you fall in that group, have excelled. Your numbers have gotten better and you love the class and you want to be in it. 25% of the people like the class, grow from it, but they're just fucking too lazy to get up and come to work an hour early once a week. And the other 25% of the people hate my fucking guts.
I think as salesmen, too, we have to mirror our customer.
Right.
Because they like to deal with people that's their same personality as well.
Right.
So mirror what we're
huge thing. It's a huge thing. Tone, mirroring tone. Sometimes I'm just way too fucking hyped to answer the phone. And guy, it's like 8:18 and the dude's like blew his trans and I'm like, what the fuck? What's up?
What's up?
Come on down. We gotta
What's up?
So I've definitely really focused on mirroring the tone. I'll always bring my same positivity, but like the tone of everything has been big. Good point, Chris.
Jason.
Gotta turn my mic on. I mean, the biggest thing I pull out of these classes, I don't so much get a lot of information from everybody, but I pick up little tidbits here and there that I like and I use, sayings and just little things. That's what I like about it.
Because it's kind of like, a meeting, sort of like a therapy meeting, so to speak. Does some of it just, when you hear like, hey, Chance has the same problems I have, and it just kind of comforts me a little to know that, hey, all these other people are dealing with the same shit I'm dealing every day, and I'm not alone on an island. So, like, misery loves company type of thing. Is there some of that? I see.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Yeah. You'll hear how he deals with stuff, or how, I don't know, just different ways how to approach the fix. It's a little bit from everybody. That's what I like about it.
Cool.
Plus, I don't work with anybody all week, so it feels good to actually talk with people for an hour.
That's another good one. That is a good one, Jason. No one said that yesterday. For the remote people, people like say that to me all the time. They're like, well, you work at home. Don't you get lonely? I'm like, fuck no. I'm on the phone all day when I'm on a video with you. I'm with people all day. I get
Yeah.
done with my day. I want to talk even less now than when I worked
Right.
in an office.
I
Right.
love my dogs and all, but they don't talk back to me. So
Brandon,
Yeah. What's up?
your turn.
Oh, you want to know what I've gotten out of this? I think, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything new. I mean, it's really just having like a cognitive approach to, focusing on what you're doing daily. You have knowledge, you know what you're talking about, but it's like bringing yourself back down to like center and saying, hey, this person has a problem. Maybe I need to be a little bit more empathetic to their situation, because I feel like usually I don't care. Well, let me dial that back home. It's not that I don't care, but it's like their problem is monumental to them, and it seems rather insignificant to me because I want to move on and move to the next problem that I can fix. So I think it's slowing down, really. Not going a million miles an hour. So
Has it allowed you to not sweat the small stuff as much because you think about it more?
Definitely. So, I mean, I tell the story to a lot of guys that when they first get started, like when I first started selling auto parts, it was like, when you get that first phone call, you're like, I need to return something, or I need to write a credit that seems at the point ginormous, right? And you'd always shove it to the back burner. You'd be like, oh, I'll take care of that next week, or, I'll take care of that next month or whatever. I feel like those are small things, or like something went bad or something. Now it's just like, well, whatever, just get out of the way, move along, and then move on to something bigger. I think that's 100% kind of the thing.
Rip off
Spencer.
the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I mean, I came in kind of halfway, but I could still give you two things. The biggest one is just listening to everyone kind of talk about the same problems. It makes my problems feel less of an issue. And then also it's like all like-minded people in here. So you don't get that opportunity very much to talk to people that are in the same position or doing similar numbers or just as busy as you. And at least for me, management doesn't have time to have those conversations. So it's nice to be able to listen to like-minded people.
Is it unique too to hear them from different locations? 'Cause
Yeah.
normally it's just I hear the Morris Rose guys,
Yeah.
right? It's to
No,
hear
I'd say that's a huge thing of not being from the same place. Because again, the same problems, it sounds like, are all across the network, or all of the companies have similar problems. So it really brings me back down to the level and be like, hey, you know what? It's not that big of a deal.
And when you simplify things, like Carver just talked about returns or problems, right? 3 R's: repair, replace, return. Those are the options, man. We can argue Jen all day long. 3
My
things.
favorite
This is
line.
it, right? Repair, replace, return. Whatever you want, Mr. Customer, I'll pay you. I'll take it back. I'll give you your money. I'll get you another whatever. It's easy. I'm sorry. Last thing I wanted to do was sell you a bad part, but here's the options, and I'm here to help you. When you simplify things, sometimes like it doesn't need to be. Trust me, my purpose today was not to screw you over. That was not what I wanted. I'm not looking for problems. Path of least resistance. Eduardo.
I think a lot of the guys touched on a lot of points. I mean, for me personally, sales wise, it's you get an outside opinion of how your calls go, of what you say, how you approach it. That might be better for a lot of people. It was for me. That wasn't under company mandate, let's say. You get a different angle on your calls. For me, it's shutting up and stop talking as much and listening to the customer. Don't serve them the pepperoni pizza. Find out if that's what he wants. Qualify him. Class wise, specifically, and Spencer was just talking about it. It's a sounding board that is not your company. There's a lot of similar issues and, you know, problems that we all deal with. But it's nice to not get into it with direct coworkers, but more or less people from other locations, other regions, other ages, and just get what they feel on it. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, I value the opinions from outside the organization because, you know, it's not, well, this is the company way and, you know, this is the Kool-Aid we're drinking. Nobody cares what kind of color Kool-Aid we have here at Bo, you know, and whether I like it or not, I'll get honest opinions out of it. And that mentally certainly helps.
Chris?
I think one of my biggest things I've always learned is tools. You give us all of the tools to succeed. I mean, even like the RRR, that's a tool. Just all of the little tools that we can do on a daily basis to succeed. That's what I've always liked. And the camaraderie of other coworkers meaning you guys. But I've always liked that.
Well, and you know, it becomes friends.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, even though a lot of us aren't together, like all of a sudden, you know, if we had a barbecue at Joel's house, I think, you know, there wouldn't be a lack of discussion or talk going on. It wouldn't be like a bunch of strangers. Like, you know, most of you haven't met in person, but it would just be like, hey, I'm with these people an hour a week for the last a lot of years. That's why I'm sad. Where is Jeff? That's what, did he say he wasn't going to be here? It's like that cousin nobody wanted, but you really miss him.
Jeff's our crazy uncle.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice to hear that, Chris, from you too, because, you know, you and I've known each other for a long time, and you were a touch stubborn in your ways.
No.
Right. And you know, the older you get, Chris, right, the more we like routines and we don't like change. And you got a whole bunch of change crammed at you, like really fast. And you handled it well. So kudos to you.
When I don't think about it.
Stop thinking so much, man.
Exactly.
Go to that greenhouse over there in Novi I went to and buy some gummies, dude. And you won't think about it at all.
There you go.
Lee.
Honestly, as far as, you know, it's like the Matrix. It's like a red pill every Thursday. You know, it's a way of basically just seeing everything as it is and getting out of the way of yourself. But yeah, then just every day, just hearing same things across the industry, but it's different ways of handling the rejection or the issue, the credit. You know, I learned credits a long time ago. You just have to get rid of them. You're never going to outrun them. You just got to outsell them.
Part of the game, right? Outsell them. It's good. It's a good way to do it. I just keep selling more, right? Just not worry about it. Miss Denise.
I like the fact that you know just about every aspect of the business when it comes to managing drivers, what we go through every day. So it is like a therapy session for me.
Well, it's important for me when I was brought up
like
for a
you
while.
get it.
Yeah, well, I was brought up, shut up, stupid salesman. You sit in the corner and sell. You don't need to understand it. And I hated that. And that's why I talk about management. All right, this is why they're doing this, Denise, or this is why, Spencer. This is what management's thinking. You have to remember the levers that are getting pulled. Right? To me, it's really important, Denise. I'm a big, I want to know why. I'll run through the brick wall for you, Denise. Just tell me what I'm supposed to do when I get to the other side. I don't like do it because I told you so. Right? Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm trying to explain to you why I go into some of the management stuff because you should understand it. And then once it is, it's like, oh, now I get it. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I get their business decisions that have to be made, and change is difficult because I've been doing this a while, and you know, I'll hear what everybody says, and maybe for the first hour of my day after the meetings, I'm just back to my old self with rush, 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 and as the emails are popping up and popping up and popping up, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Same.
Same thing. Chance.
As they're popping up now.
Yeah.
And I don't like leaving strings untied. I feel like I've got to fix it immediately. I don't like going home with knowing I've got this problem to deal with tomorrow. So it's like I just want to rip the Band-Aid off and fix it.
You learn quick in this industry.
My shops are loyal. So loyal. And it's more for them more than the company.
And what's comical about that is everyone thinks, oh, city. They're just city people. There's so many of them, blah, blah, blah. No, it's strong. Philly strong. Right? All right, young Jedi, it's your turn.
A lot of people have already touched on, I think, all the same stuff. One thing I take about is, don't sweat the small stuff, the credits, the bad motor, the lost sale or whatever, and just try to not have attitude, I guess, when that stuff comes across. Just keep a level head and just remind yourself and your customer that, hey, we sell junk for a living. So, don't get mad myself when something's broken, and also, try to make them realize, hey, this is used stuff happens, just the way it goes.
Yeah, it's part of the risk. It's why there's a savings, right? This is why sometimes you go to a garage sale, what you bought doesn't work.
Like I had one yesterday, he was going off on me. Oh, these lights took too long, and they came in, and now they got broken tabs, and the car's behind, and blah 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 blah. And I said, sir, that light could have came in with a broken tab if you would have bought a new one. And he goes, yeah, well, I guess, So it's just, I don't know.
Don't sweat the small stuff, Mr. Customer. This is part of the game now. But it's understanding, right? They've got pressure on them too. They have a customer breathing or insurance company breathing down their neck.
Yep.
It's instead of saying, all these people I talk to all day are just assholes. Well, they're not all assholes. Sometimes they're just pissed because their car broke.
Right.
It always comes down from the top, right? Pressure from somebody.
Yep.
Right. Miss Jennifer.
My turn. I'm in 2 classes right now. I do Monday class and Tuesday class. And Monday class is like kindergarten, and I call this one Advanced Junkyard Theory. So I just like getting the whole big picture from this class. And being a newbie at 3 different yards now, I can tell you guys that it's nice to have you guys for help, because the coworkers, they're not going to help you like you guys do, because I'm competition. I'm not going to get the kind of tips and tricks and things like that. So I think that's a big part of it for me.
Awesome. Tommy.
I'm glad you're back.
Thank you.
And speaking of that too, before I go, I've said this before. If you've got a buddy out there, and you think he'd fit the group, talk to him and say, hey, you should get in this with us. So if you've got some buddies out there, feel free. Tommy, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I would say one of the big things was like me being one of the younger people in this group and starting so young is like maturing and realizing that even when I first started off in the group, I probably wasn't taking this industry as seriously as I could have been. And like being in this group for so long and then realizing the numbers that everybody else is like putting up, and it's helped me realize like, oh, this is definitely like a place that you could like make a career out of this. So just coming from the younger perspective, I definitely did not take it very seriously at all.
Well,
and I was like, oh yeah, this is yeah. And it just growing up with like having you guys there throughout the years has like helped me realize like I could have been doing better and could have been doing this or whatever. And then like I think I had this talk with Chris and Drew over there about like taking it more seriously and everything. It's just that community aspect of it, of like realizing like, oh, you can actually do this, and it's actually could be very worthwhile for you if you start figuring it out sooner. And then the other thing would probably be like what Brandon said. It's nice to have a once a week refresher to like remind me like I need to be empathetic with the people on the phone. I can't just continuously say that, oh, this guy's an asshole because he was like rude to me on the phone. I got to realize, yeah, he's probably not having the best day. He just heard from me that he's got to replace a $2,000 trans that his kid broke in Wisconsin, or like, so it's just, it's that perspective probably is one of the other biggest things with coming here once a week, is realizing like it helps me center the perspective of like, oh, you're actually here to help people and not just sell parts.
When I was young, Tom, I had plenty of mentors that helped me along the way. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't have people to look up and people to mentor. Right. And now to me, part of this is I'm paying it forward. I'm paying it back for the Mike Colstons and some of the people that were involved that taught me, right, how to be a professional and what to do. Chad.
I don't know, man. It's a lot. I would say the thing that I took the most and the thing that I'm missing, actually, I would say over the last 6 months, maybe even the year, is this transition has happened to my role now. But I always saw it as competitive, and it was always a check-in with the guys and stuff, but it was a healthy push. And just like the military background and the sport background, that's how I thrive. Like all I want to do is better. And when things aren't better, I'm like, this is shit. And this is a group of people that just want to be better. The whole industry is full of people that are just complacent and content. And I'm just not wired that way. I just want to be better at everything. If we're bagging trash, we're the best bag trash I can do. And I think that's what this group is for the most part. And the people that stay in this group want to do better, because we've seen people come and go, but it's just building that camaraderie.
Right. If I hear Drew's calls and they're that bad and I can't beat him, like what the hell is he doing better than me?
Right. And I'm like, oh, and I hear those calls, he's right down the road and blah, blah, blah. Or, we've all joked that we're in the same little circle and find out who's told what to who. And it's, sometimes I'll sell something to one of Drew's guys using Drew's line on him. And that's just what happens.
Yeah. And again, there's a big Michigan contingency here, right? But again, a lot of people get freaked out about that. I don't want my guys in there. I don't want a Phoenix person hearing an Ernie's call or whatever. Like, listen.
Who cares?
Right. This is exactly, this is what we do. This is part of the game.
You know how many times in the past 4 months I've told the customer to call SRAM because they got a $45 part and we got it in our system for $150. I mean, it's like, and those customers who then call me back and buy engines and transits that we have higher than SRAMs based on the relationship that I'm saving them money on smaller parts. Well, we have so many parts in Michigan to go around. We are in competition, but not really, bro.
No, like the competition is Pep Boys, O'Reilly, Chevy,
LKQ.
Ford, Chrysler, Keystone. That's who your competition is. It's not the other yards.
Correct.
That's not where it is. JB.
Tommy kind of said it, being young when I first started in your other class, it was a bunch of group of people that were learning and striving to, figuring out if they wanted to move forward. And this class is people that have already moved forward, people that have excelled in their position. And it's been a great learning experience for me. It was me and 2 other people in-house, and now it's like 4 remote people and 2 people in-house. So I'm like on my own, the other guy, he's selling parts. He's the top salesman. I want to get to that level, but like where I was taking the learning from him, now I'm taking it from all of you. So, and getting the different perspective and different yards and seeing that, like you said, we all have the same issues, has helped greatly move past the shit sandwiches, as you call it.
Yeah. It's a comfort zone. This is a little bit taste of comfort food. It's waffles and chicken and syrup and chicken and waffles in the morning, right? It's a little comfort here once a week. Mr. Love.
I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things. In the beginning, it was really structuring phone calls and asking the right questions, but now I really think it's just the refresher every week of like hearing everyone's going through the same stuff. I mean, I think we build a lot off of one another. We're more of like a talkative group. We bounce a lot of ideas back and forth. I think that all really builds into the help of doing better on every next phone call.
What about the commerce, Brian, right? I would have to assume that you guys all buy a lot from each other just because you're on here all the week and you know each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chad shaking his head a little bit. Well, you're boxed out some, Chad, right?
Yeah,
Without a
I'm kind
PRP
of
trailer.
which is kind of something that's been on my case because Brandon and I have talked, and Brian from Sham and I have talked, is like this whole group, which is like a pitch for you per se, is you could make your own sales club. Like this could literally just be the profit team runner club. Like you could have you guys. I know you guys have those agreements, and that's something I miss from being on the runner. But there is a lot of commerce that can be done within those groups.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I try to buy parts from Chad, but he feels the need to crush the cars before I buy the parts. So.
Oh.
Turn and burn.
All right, Drew. Is Drew starting to look like an old Bono now all of a sudden? Sorry.
Well, I was playing with my girl. I got a big old black eye, and
Kind of like Steven Seagal with the top knot.
Yeah. Oh, I'll take fucking Seagal. That's I grew up.
Wait, hold on.
I
Steven
will
Seagal
too.
from the '90s, not Steven Seagal now.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even list the amount of things that this class does for me. Like I mean, as Brandon, I think you were in my very first class. I think it was like me, but long story short, I was doing 80K when I started. And it's like, I think one thing that resonated most with me with you guys said was Chad, because obviously being a former athlete, the numbers aspect, the sport aspect, it's a fucking competition, right? You know, and I'm just obsessed over like working hard and doing my best, and now having a clear head, knowing like truly my purpose with my girls, it like really has just put the pedal to the metal. And I think every single day or every single Thursday when I leave this meeting, it's an easy reminder where it's like you are the separation. You specifically answering the phone. How's your time? Are you energetic? Are you using the customer's name? It's just like all these reminders, you get an easily refresher every single Thursday. And if you don't get that out of this class, like people leave. And I'm not saying they're not successful too, but like what has helped me is the slow consistency of like just like hearing each week and showing up. And this class makes you do it. So
it's hard for me to understand. I shouldn't say it's hard, but what I don't understand is, you know, like right now I'm re-upping classes, right? And I got I've been in for 3 months, so I'm gonna take a break. Like to me, it means they haven't bought in, right? And then it's like to me, it's I haven't done a good enough job for them. Now I get some of it is ownership, like hey, we need to take a break. We don't want to pay. I get some of that when things are tight, but it's like it's hard for me the concept of why are they not getting it?
Yeah.
But I have to say to myself, again, this isn't for everybody. There's some people that want the unicorns and rainbows and let's hold hands stuff too, and I get that. Right. It's that's where I struggle sometimes.
Well, everybody's got stuff going on each week and everybody's busy. Like my schedule's fucking flipped a 180 upside down, with different schedules and different drop-offs, but it's the commitment, it's the choice. And if you can show up here every single morning on Thursday, right, or every single week, why can't you just ask the customer, why won't you buy the part? Like if you're already fucking making the commitment, just take that 1 extra second and try to close one.
Yep. All right. Now we're gonna get a whole new perspective. Marlon, are you with me?
I'm here. I'm here.
All right. I want the poutine perspective. Go ahead.
So I've been with you guys since I started here. So it's been what, 4 years now, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much everything I know, I've learned from this class, from the guys, from you. I came from a different industry, different kind of sales. So I don't even go to the office anymore. So I learn a lot from you guys. I listen a lot more than I talk. You guys know. I was quiet here answering emails, and but I'm listening. I learn, and I love this group. It's really part of my work team and the small family we have, right?
And I want to make sure that you came a little late, right? We're gonna have 2 weeks off, Marlon. No class next week. We're not gonna start back up to the week of the 14th. Right, because I've got the URG conference coming in there, so you're going to get a little 2-week break. Brian and you were both a little late, maybe Jay. So I want to make sure you guys heard that.
Okay.
Chuck.
Well, it's funny that Marlon said that too, but I had no idea what I was doing, and you know where I came from. I had Jeff to teach me how to do it. That was my training, right? So I take a lot from these classes. I don't talk a lot, and when I do, it's harsh, but it's something to keep your attitude in check too, because when you start going off on these tangents, everybody brings you back down. Like it's like you're hanging off the edge, and Thursday morning pulls you back up onto the cliff so you can start falling again for the rest of the week. It's a nice reminder. It keeps you centered. And I do take, you get to cherry pick from 15 different big dogs in the industry, a little bit of each of that person and mold it into what works for you. So it's nice.
And I think your numbers have reflected it, correct?
This is true.
Right? So there's a return on your investment, right? You've all made an investment to be a part of this group and be in it for a long time. And most of you have seen a good return on that investment, right? Your numbers have gone up. It's those types of things, right? Spencer, for you coming in, you're new to the group. JB's a little new to the group. I'm very wary about bringing new people into this group. I got to make sure that they fit, right? Because this is tight. This is the legacy group, so to speak, or the fraternity group. And it matters, right? So the reason I hit the record button at the beginning of this is I'm probably going to post it when someone says, well, what's the class about? I'm going to say, go watch the video. Just, forewarning, there are some F-bombs in here, right? But you want to know where the class gets you to? Well, go watch it and hear what they all say, right? This is where it gets you to, and if you want to be a part of it. Brian, are you there? Are you... Trams? I wanted to give him a chance, but he might be feeding the baby or something.
He's combing the mustache. He's got to be pretty before he turns the camera on.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
He's on.
We're talking about why we do this.
Well, I said, if this was your last class and you had to say, well, here's what I got from it. That's what the question was, because again, this is the last class of the session. We're not going to start up for 2 more weeks. So it was and I'm not looking for this to be a Rob, you're the best. That's not what this is about. I'm not looking, it's 10% me, it's 90% you guys. And I love how most of you have said, well, it's everybody. It's everybody's words. It's all of you that have helped.
That's deep. I don't know. I think just coming here every Thursday is like accountability. Because like everyone said, it's a family thing. It's a fraternity, and money. I mean, it's a big thing. If we can all buy from each other, like Chad was saying, that's another thing that keeps me coming back. And I don't know, just feeding off of each other.
And I love you guys.
Oh, I knew he was gonna be the big softy at the end. Wait, even
Let's go
Marlon?
hug.
Even Marlon?
God, Brian's like the best representation of Michigan. This is just like so kind. He's so relaxed. This is like got the M22 hoodie on. I mean, bud, you are killing it.
I feel that way this morning. I was rushing to work. I was running late.
I think he was at the greenhouse, Drew. That's what I think.
Just not the Detroit part of Michigan.
Yeah, correct.
Come on. Come on. And I have to be honest, right? I get something from this class, right? I get something from this as well. This is again my legacy group. These are the people that I'm proud of. These are the people that I can brag about, and look what I've been able to do to help these people. Not do it. The one thing I try to make sure I say, right? It's 10% me. It's can I organize and can I get everybody on the right direction, and get everybody pointed the right way, and then allowing you guys all to do that together. So that's kind of what the whole purpose of this was for me. I wish more people would take advantage of it. Not all my groups are like this. I have some groups that, when I build new groups, I'm not sure how the personalities and the dynamics are all going to fit in there. But this one I do. This has been a good group of people. And like I said, though, if you want to find some others, if you've got some buddies, Justin or Carver gave me a suggestion, which I think would be good. But if there's somebody else you think, that would be great. So 2 weeks, no class. You'll get a new invite. I'm going to send a new link. I'm going to get a new Zoom link for you guys. So that way, if you get on early, you can all get in without me letting you in. And I'll see you all. Some of you I'll see in Orlando, and some of you I'll see in a few weeks.
See ya.
Thank you guys.
See you guys.